8QA connected to KG4DVE.
KG4DVE. The time is 8 p.m.
CQ, this is KN this evening. This net sponsored by the River Cities Amateur Radio Association. It meets on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. This net meets on the KG4DVE repeater, frequency 146.940, with a negative offset and a tone of 107.2. This net is also connected to the Portsmouth Radio Club repeaters, the NAQA 145.390, with a negative offset and a tone of 136.5, and the 444.600 positive offset and no PL. This net's also available on Echolink using KG4DVE-R and NAQA-R. This net is an open net. All amateur radio operators are invited to participate in the net tonight, and the only thing you need is a valid amateur radio call sign. Break it. Following FCC rules, this net will yield to emergency traffic at any time during the net meeting. All traffic during the net meeting will be directed through net control. When you're asked to check in, please state your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your first name. After the check-in process, we'll give each station a chance to make a comment or announcement. Rechecks will then be acknowledged and coordinated through net control following the check-in process. This is KN4IMU hosting the Tri-State 2-meter net. Before we begin tonight's net, are there any stations with emergency or priority traffic? Okay, here are none. We'll start taking check-ins for tonight's net. We'll start off with our time value stations. Stations that would like to check in or out or are short of time, please call now.
I'll be here. You forgive me. I just have to get in the frequency and urge you and start talking.
Not a problem. I just wanted to check there real quick. But I did get Tom and Danny checked in now, so I wanted to let them know so they could get out of here. Doug, I also got you on the list there. We'll be back to you here in just a few minutes. All right. Are there any other time value stations short of time or in and out that would like to check in? Please call now. Okay, moving on. I don't see anybody else but me on there, but we'll check real quick. Do we have any Echolink stations that would like to check in tonight? All right, then moving on, we'll take check-ins from anywhere now. We got Doug on the list there, so but we'll go ahead. Any stations anywhere wishing to check into the net tonight, please call now.
Whiskey 3, Whiskey Victor Alpha, Greg in Spring Valley.
W8XDB, Dave. KB8 SRN, Gary, near Muletown.
Alright, we'll pause real quick. I had Greg, W3WVA, Mike, N8MRB Mobile, Jennifer, NAJN, also mobile, Dave, W8XDB, and Gary, KB8SRN. Are there any other stations or any stations I may have missed? Second call for any stations anywhere or any stations I may have missed for the Tri-State 2-meter net. Please call now.
You can check in KC8PFI, Jason, just listening in and out.
All right, Jason, I got you in and out. KC8PFI, you have a good weekend, man. Be careful. All right, any other stations that would like to check in tonight? All right, we will check again in a few minutes. We'll go back up to the top of the list, and we will start with, we had Tom and Danny both in and out. So we'll go to Bainbridge, KE8ORQ. Doug, what's going on with you, man?
Well, good evening to you and everybody on the net. I've just been driving around today. We've had a lot of landslides this past week, due to all that rain, and had 8 or 10 trees down across one of the roads right down from me, so we just went to see if it was open, and went down into Bainbridge. We always have a little get-together down there in the morning at the barber shop, and the rest of the time I've been on the radio, and just enjoying myself, getting ready for this weekend and all the sun, and that's about it. I hope everybody there has a fantastic week. Supposed to be all sunshine and a little bit cool temperatures, but not too bad. But this is KE8ORQ, back to net control.
All right, Doug, appreciate you checking in, man. You have a good weekend, and we will talk to you soon. All right, next up, we'll go to Spring Valley, Whiskey 3, Whiskey Victor Alpha. Greg, what did you get into today?
Well, good evening, Michael, and everybody on the net. I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger, and if I'm going to spend money I don't have, and might as well pull a big trigger, so I did that. I replaced my ICOM AH710, the off-center fed folded dipole. It just works great, so I just decided to stay with it. It's about $300 antenna, but can't complain. I had real good luck using it, and then this time I bought a couple lightning arresters to go with it, and of course the master rope and some pulleys. And I was talking with some folks on Portsmouth Radio Club and Southern Ohio Aries Races net last night, and they suggested I get a Region 100-watt solar suitcase with the 20-amp controller in there, so I did that. And I went ahead and got a 20-amp-hour, 40-amp lithium iron phosphate 4 battery. It's only 6 pounds, and a little AC charger with it. So we were talking about the Boy Scouts last night, and the Boy Scouts motto is be prepared. I may be broke, but I am prepared. So anyway, I'll be waiting for all that stuff to come in, and as well as my balance transfers to a new credit card with a low interest rate. Anyway, 73 to everybody. I want to thank everybody for all the advice. I'll let you know how it goes as it goes. W3WVA, back to you. Thanks, Mike.
All right, Greg, appreciate you checking in. Congratulations on the new purchase there. I know it's kind of unwarranted, but kind of wanted. Appreciate you checking in, man. Have a good evening, and hopefully we get to hear a good review on it, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, next up we'll see Mike and Jennifer. You guys were a little bit broken there on check-in, but we'll check again here in a minute if something happens. So we'll go to Mike in 8MRB. If you're in there, Mike, what's going on, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. Nice to hear you on the net there taking over and running things smooth as can be, Mike. We just been out on the road today in a couple different cities taking care of business, and then had to run back to the shop because a guy saw a chair that he had up for sale and really, really wanted it. So we just met him a little bit ago here in the dark at the shop and sold a chair. And then we had to run over to the house and get an air pump for the son who had a flat tire. And we just dropped that off, and we're getting ready to head back home now. So I'm going to turn it back over to net control in 8MRB.
All right, Mike, appreciate you checking in, man. You guys have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, next up we'll go over to Jennifer and see if she's got anything to add on to that. Jennifer, what's going on with you?
Probably about the same thing as what Mike told you. Good evening, Mike, and everybody else on the net tonight. Well, I'll throw something else in there. Our youngin' likes Dungeons and Dragons, and he just had on a shirt that said Dungeon Meowster, and it had a kitty cat all on it, and I just thought that was awesome instead of Dungeon Master. So if there's any D&D fans out there, you might appreciate that. But let's see, we're going to go pick up some pizza and head home. Been a long but fun day, and I'll turn it back over to you, NHAEN.
All right, Jennifer, appreciate you all checking in, and you have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, next we'll go up there to Dave, W8XDB. Dave, what'd you get into today?
Evening, Mike. Everybody checking in on tonight's net. I missed last night, had a late supper. By the time I got through feeding my monster, yeah, well, it was just a little too late. So, anyway, sorry I missed last night. Made a trip north today, over a Savannah cat. I don't know much about them other than they're an expensive cat. I do know that. So that's what I've been into. Trip to Columbus and back, and that's about it. So, turn it back over to you, Mike. Sounds like you got a good one going here. So, 73s, everyone. Have a good weekend. W8XDB, back to net control.
All right, Dave. Sounds like you've had a fun day there. I appreciate you checking in, man. Have a good evening, and we will talk to you soon. All right, next up we'll go up to Muletown, KB8SRN. Gary, tell us what's going on in your world today.
KB8SRN, good evening, Michael, and everyone else on the net. Well, I just a little follow-up there on my science fair project I talked about the other day with the tire pressure sensors. My little frequency counter didn't work. It was dancing all around where I thought it would be, but it didn't zoom in on the exact frequency. And I finally found today that in Portsmouth about the only place that can check them is a tire shop there. So, and he said I had 3 out of 5 bad. He might be just wanting to sell some TPM sensors, but anyway, my little experiment, I think it was well intended, but it didn't pan out. Maybe one of those little tiny SA spectrum analyzers like they just advertised here in QST would be cool to have for snooping out something like that. They get those for, I don't know, $80 or so. Caught my eye. And that's about all I have that's noteworthy. I played outside a little bit today, cleaning my wood pile. Back to you, KB8SRN 73, y'all.
All right, Gary, appreciate you checking in. Sorry to hear that didn't work out for you, but yeah, unfortunately, I'm dealing with tire pressure issues, or say tire issues too. I wouldn't say it's a sensor issue, but still in the same department, I guess. So, anyways, appreciate you checking into the net, man. You have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, next up was Jason. He was in and out. So that brings us to the bottom of the list. This is KN4IMU, hosting the Tri-State 2-meter net. Before we continue, I got a couple quick announcements. Break. First off, I want to remind everyone of the River Cities Club meeting this coming Tuesday. The meeting will be at 7 o'clock, and we will be having a test session at 6 o'clock. And so if anybody's interested in upgrading or testing for their license, make sure you come out for that. That'll be at Belafonte Restaurant, 1320 Carter Avenue in Ashland. Let's see. And we're also still doing tickets for the Autumn Colors Express giveaway for the River Cities Club. We will have tickets to the meeting as well for that, but otherwise you can get a hold of me and by email at kn4imu@gmail.com if you want to purchase them on PayPal, or if you just want to meet in person to get a ticket. If you're down this way, just let me know. So that's really it for announcements at the moment. Break. So with that being said, we'll start taking more check-ins for the net tonight. If there's any other stations looking to check into the net, please call now.
KCFOG.
Recheck.
All right, I got Jeff, KC at FOG, and we got a recheck there. Give us 1 sec, we'll come back to you. I didn't quite catch who that was, but we'll be back here with you in just a sec. Any other stations that would like to check in tonight?
KUM.
All right, got you, Jim, KD at KUM. Any other stations that would like to check in?
WX8G, Gary.
All right, Gary, I got you in there, WX8G. Any other stations out there looking to check into the net? All right, we'll go back. We'll start with our recheck, and I think it was Mike, but if not, I could be wrong. Go ahead with the recheck.
You got that right, N8MRB. Just want to let you know, in case it helps anybody, we just had one of those TPM units replaced at Bob and Floyd's. It's like $50, and they have the TPM unit to recalibrate everything for you as well. N8MRB.
KB8SRN, thanks, Mike. That's where I did stop in there today, and they checked them and recommended I get all 5 replaced, and it was the same deal that you just mentioned. So I guess you're happy with yours, and that's a good to know. Appreciate the info. Thanks much. KB8SRN.
Okay, Mike, appreciate you passing that along for Gary there. Hopefully it helps him out. All right, let's go to Vinton, and we'll go to Jeff, KC at FOG. Jeff, what'd you get into today?
Well, see you later, everybody. Took advantage of the sun and charge I had, and been working on batteries. People been giving me batteries, and anyway, I'm picking up all kinds of stuff. Just amazing. And I'm trying to desulfate stuff, work on stuff, and within my coax pile. And I got everything laid out to get my VLF antenna hooked back up. I call it the VLF ELF. When I get it done, it will be definitely down that low, down to 20 kC when I get done with the huge capacitor set I'm building for it to tune it. With no counterpoise, it doesn't work with a counterpoise, this one. Anyway, I've experimented with it and it degrades the signals. Anyway, I will work on all that stuff tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get my 80-meter antenna repaired. So I have to tune up this 160 meter for 80 meters all the time. Anyway, that's about it here. Antennas and battery specials. That's it. KCFOG.
All right, Jeff. Appreciate you checking into the net, man. You have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, next up, we'll go to West Huntington, KD8 KUM. Jim, what kind of trouble you causing today?
All kinds. I sat at home today, and I got my doctor's papers back. They mailed them to me, and he says I'm stable. I don't know what that means, but it must mean I'm still alive. Well, I don't know, stable, mentally stable or not stable, unstable, I don't know what that could mean. Anyway, I got another letter that from some guy up in Maryland wants to buy my piece of land in Virginia, and he offered $12,000 for it. So I'm rich. And I got 2 letters from 2 different solar companies, solar group that wants to lease big pieces of land to put their solar panels on acres of land, and work into the
the grid and put it on, and they say they give you free power. And one of them said they give you $700 an acre to put their stuff on it. So that's not even $100 a month for a year to tie up your land for 20 or 25 years. They want to lease it for 20 years, the length of the life of the solar panels. One company's up in Canada, and I'm not sure where the other one is. they're called Nexamp, the other one, and the one in Solar Group in Canada. So I'm just making all kinds of money. So KD8 KUM.
All right, Jim, appreciate you checking in, man. And well, at least somebody offered you some money for it, but I say try and get every last cent out of it you can, because once you sell it, you can't make any more. So I appreciate you checking in the net, man. You have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, next let's go up to Ashley Corner, or somewhere near there. WX8G, Gary, how's your day, man?
Good evening, Mike, and everybody else that's checked in. Well, I had a good day today. Got to drive the truck, and probably be driving again tomorrow, but just having a little bit of problems with the shifting, mainly whenever I go to trying to shift down from, whenever I'm in high range and down into low range. So anyway, just trying to do better all the time. I really enjoy it. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. So I'll stay unless they tell me to leave. But anyway, it's been a good day. Come home and ended up taking about a 2.5-hour nap. So I must have evidently been a little bit on the tired side. Anyway, eventful day. So anyway, we'll go ahead and turn it back to you, Mike. 73, everybody. Have a great weekend. WX8G.
All right, Gary, appreciate you checking in, and again, congratulations on the new job. Yeah, you'll get the shifting down pat, I'm sure. So, appreciate you checking in, man. You have a good weekend, and we will talk to you soon. All right, we are at the bomb list again. This is KN4IMU hosting the Tri-State 2-Meter Net, and we're still taking check-ins for tonight's net. Any stations out there looking to check in, please call now.
Please check in Kilo Echo 4 Echo Whiskey Sierra John, South Ashland.
Okay, John, I got you in there. KE4EWS. Any other station out there that would like to check in? Well, John, I guess we'll go to you. What's going on over there in South Ashland tonight?
KE4EWS. I tell you what, ever since I about froze to death, and I had to go to that community center, I am cold. I can't get warm. My mobile home is about 75 degrees. I'm still cold. I don't know what it is, if it's just all mental or what it is. But during the day, I'm okay, but it's nighttime, I just get cold. Y'all take care. KE4EWS, back to net.
Alrighty, John, appreciate you checking in, buddy. Oops, turn that down a little bit. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you here soon. And hopefully you get a little bit warmer there, man. Alright, we're at the bomb list again, and we're still taking check-ins for the net. Any stations anywhere, please call now.
Recheck, W3WVA.
Go ahead, Greg.
All right, thanks, Mike. First, I just want to say, hey, John, Kilo Echo 4 Echo Whiskey Sierra, take a really hot shower. That's about the only thing that works for me. I get the same way. But anyway, I have a question, and whenever I have a question, I always ask the Nets. I've got, after the ice storm, I've got basically a small tree hanging up in the limbs in harm's way, about 35 feet. It's a good 10 inches in diameter, and it's kind of looped over branches. Any suggestions on how to get that out safely? I'm considering maybe a wrist rocket and trying to fish some, line through it and grab it. But I don't know if I can grab it. And my other thought was maybe I should bring out my 20-gauge shotgun and try and shoot it out or get it rocking enough, because it seems like the high wind we had last night didn't seem to affect it at all, and it's really precariously dangling up there, and it's very, very large. So if anybody has any ideas of how to get this thing out, it's 35 feet up and it's 10 inches around in diameter, so it's a big, heavy branch. And I'll wait for silence. Thanks again. W3WVA, back to net control.
Try a short fishing rod and put a weight on it. KE4EWS.
All right, John, I will try that. I've got a Zebco 202 reel taped to a wrist rocket that I've been using successfully to hang my 80-foot dipole. So I'll try and lasso it and see if that works, but I'm just so scared to walk even close to it, because at any moment it's a widowmaker. Back to net control. Thanks, John.
No problem, Greg. John, appreciate the suggestion there. We'll open it up if anybody else has any other suggestions there.
Yeah, SRN. Yeah, that's very similar to some things that I would do. I used to use a smaller line, like was mentioned, a fishing line, and a hammer to throw up over it, and then attach that to a bigger rope, and then stand back and pull on it and hope for the best. KB8 SRN.
All right, Gary, thank you. I appreciate that. The claw hammer is a good idea. That's a keeper. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try everything I can before bringing out the shotgun. But, yeah, thank you again. Back to net control.
All right, no problem. Any other suggestions out there? Maybe ones that don't involve firearms, just for personal safety, or anybody else have any other suggestions for that scenario?
KDHKUM.
Go ahead, Jim.
My uncle, he's 94, he got out his bow and arrow. He had a limb that was hanging from a tree right over his driveway where he drives his cars underneath, and it was hanging there, blowing back and forth, so you worry about driving the car underneath of it. He got the bow and arrow and shot a small piece of rope and a bigger rope, and then they got it pulled on down, and that worked good. But another thing that to suggest to Mike about getting all I can for my land, I had 34 acres right near the Potomac River. So that's what a ridiculous offer that is. Back to you, Mike, KD8KUM.
All right, Jim, appreciate the suggestion there, and I appreciate the recheck, man. Yeah, I understand that. All right, any others with a suggestion there for Greg? All right, Greg, well, seems to be the consensus there, so we'll wish you luck with that and be careful doing it. I can't think of anything myself. All right, well, I'll go ahead and throw myself on the list here, and, well, same old here, nothing new to report. We're still working on a drainage issue with my kitchen sink, which the drain line for it runs all the way out and around, so it's kind of a goofy setup, but, well, we'll get it figured out here soon. That's really about it. Break. Again, don't forget the club meeting this coming Tuesday. We'll have testing at 6 with the meeting at 7. And anybody's welcome to join, even if you're not a member or a ham, or as long as you're just interested in radio, you're more than welcome to join us, or if you just like food. So make sure you come out and join us for that this coming Tuesday. Let's see, Sunday night will be the Ohio District 8 Aries Net. That'll be on the Southeast Ohio DMR Talk Group. And Bill, Kilo Echo 8 Alpha Alpha Lima, will be the net control for that as far as I know. Don't have really anything else announcement-wise, nothing that I've already covered. So we'll do a final call for check-ins, see if anybody else checks in. If not, we'll close the net out. Any stations anywhere looking to check into the Tri-State 2-meter net, please call now. Last call for check-ins for the Tri-State 2-meter net. Please call now. All right, well, we'll go and close the net out for the evening then. Sorry about that. I'd like to thank everyone that checked into the Tri-State 2-meter net, and those that stood by while the net is being conducted. We'll now close the net out at 8:33 p.m. with a total of 14 check-ins. And we'll turn all repeaters connected back to normal amateur use. Everyone have a good weekend, stay warm, and we'll be back on Monday for the next meeting of the Tri-State 2-meter net, and hopefully we'll see some of y'all at the club meeting on Tuesday. This is KN4IMU Net Control, and I'll be clear.
KDMK.
KDMK, KN4MU, were you hollering for me there, Danny, or just calling out to see if anybody's around?
I just got home, turned this radio on to see if the kids are still in there or not. Is Vanceburg still having their net on Friday nights at 8:30?
I keep forgetting about that, but yeah, they should be having their nets at 8 o'clock actually, same slot as us. But yeah, they should still be having their net. It may be over by now, I don't know, but I don't have the information in front of me at this very second.
Okay, Mike, so this net's over with for the night?
Yeah, I just got done with it right before you called out there, like literally closed the net out.
Okay, I was going to come in, I was going to re-sign back in, but, oh well, since I missed it, so I was getting into a bad spot, and I thought I'd better just in and out. And, okay, Mike, KN4IMU, this KDMK,
Not a problem, Dan. We do got you on the list there, though, so you at least checked in. But you have a good evening, man. And KN4MU, I'm going to be clear and taking down the link.
N8QA disconnected.